And so why have you like the sequence of the the skills that you have mentioned? Why that sequence? Is there any
in the life skills? Yeah.
Yes.
So I've talked about career skills to start with.
Okay.
Choosing a career, how you, because that's what people are worried about.
Okay.
Their job, their career. So I've started with that. I've started with things which are more practical. How to handle difficult bosses also is there.
Okay.
How to handle work pressure. How to make a presentation. How to speak in a public place. Then I come to higher things like winning the inner battle,
Okay.
Emotional intelligence, creativity, mindfulness, meditation, being a compassionate person. That's how it flows.
Were you a difficult boss before meditating and after meditating?
No, so I wasn't. My thing was always that I should encourage people, but I'm firm.
Okay.
I'm firm. So I shouldn't lose my temper. I say, okay, I want this at 5 o'clock. It means 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean 6 o'clock. So I'm firm. So the biggest compliment I got was a young person like you. He works with me as an intern.
Okay.
And he read my book and he had to read it because he works with me. So,
Okay.
but he comes to me.
Finding
says,
commonality.
He says, sir, I've read your book, but I read only 51 out of the 52 chapters. I said, why is that? He said, because I didn't need to read Handling Difficult Bosses.
Oh, well,
Wow.
wow. Kafi zyada smart.
Compliment. He gives me that.
That's very, very smart.
Yeah, very smart
Really
guy.
appreciating that.
Anshuman is his name. Very smart.
I know him.
Yeah.
Right. So, sir, because I know you have very disciplined candor, what is your leadership style?
So it's firmness with encouragement.
Okay.
And as DC or director, or as I am also CEO of a vibrant forum that we have.
Okay.
So whenever you're leading people, you need to make sure that they understand that you mean business, but you need to encourage them and bring out their creative best,
Okay.
their innovative best. Yeah, I often say in my leadership talks that if people are scared of you and they work for you, that is not as good as if they respect you and they work out of their heart.
Okay.
They want to work with you.
Yes.
They will work much better. But out of terror, if you're making somebody work, their work output won't be much. And then they will get sick of your terror ways. So I think the better way of leadership is to be solid, but encouraging. And it is said that there's a quote, be an encourager. The world is full of critics. So I don't criticize much. I encourage people.
Are you a critic of yourself?
Not really. I'm my biggest supporter. In fact, that is something I've been blessed with. So I haven't been a guilty kind of person, or I haven't been a critic of myself either. So I think that that criticism quality, somehow God has not put into me much.
Okay.
So I don't criticize much.
Do you follow-up question, but do you still have to reassure yourself on certain things?
Yeah, certain things, I guess I'm human. So there are certain things I can't do for nuts.
Okay.
I can't cook, and I've just learned how to make coffee, and I'm very happy with that. So I can not dance for my life, but I can sing a little bit. I can speak a little bit. I write a little bit, as you know. I can carry out conversations and do some work. So I'm not harsh on myself, but I think I know my drawbacks.
Like you're self-aware. And so I think it's your humility talking, but you're really good at whatever you do. And is it something like, let's say your interns or whoever is working with you, do they treat you like a godly figure? If yes, how do you make sure you humanize in front of, or pedestal पे चढ़ा के रखते हैं नहीं? How is it?
It's a very interesting question. I think pedestal पे थोड़ा बहुत चढ़ा के रखते भी हैं, and as you grow older, the youngsters, obviously the age gap is a little more.
Okay.
If I was 30 and the intern is 25, there's not much age gap either.
Different dynamic.
So that connection is more, the pedestal is smaller. But as you grow older, but it's not only to do with age. There was a time when I'll just very humbly, I must tell you this. I was about 35 or something, and my PA was a youngster. So I said, Manish, ये करना है, आपने जाना नहीं है इससे पहले. He turned around to me after he was working with me for a year or so. He said, sir, ऐसा है सर, हम आपके fan हैं. So I was like, what is it? Manish, I was so shocked. So वो pedestal है. But it often kind of comes as a barrier with some people when they want to be friends.
Yes.
वो तो pedestal पे हैं, so you can't even be friends with them.
Right.
So it is like that also at times.
This is something I've asked a lot of people, because कोई जब pedestal पे चढ़ा के रखता है, you don't get real unsugar coated feedback.
Exactly.
So do you make sure that you get real feedback?
Yeah, that is a problem. You have identified it well. There could be times, but then I think my wife makes up for it. She
Okay.
tells me unsugar coated. This is not right. You didn't do it right. Okay. She's pretty balanced. So she'll tell me this. She calls a spade a spade.
Okay. So I have a like last few questions, and all of these, like not only these, but all the questions that I've asked, ये सब मेरे curiosity से ही आ रहे हैं. And my personal objective of this podcast is कि I want to get answers to a lot of questions. Let's say that. So how was your transition from like I'm guessing it was a private sector and then government, then like public sector and again private. How was your transition?
Yeah, so I started out being an engineer and a cricketer, and then
Okay.
I got into AppTech for a year or two.
Okay.
Before I got into the government. My father died in service, I got into Haryana service, then I got into IAS. So that transition was a natural transition because he died and I had to get into the service. When I left the service, it was a conscious,
Okay.
abrupt kind of thing. For 4 years I was thinking, but the decision was obviously... So this transition has been very pleasant.
Okay.
And it seems from outside that, who leaves the IAS and who leaves the government. But I think I left it at the right time. All the advantages of being in the IAS are still with me. Because I call up somebody, they're my friends, I get that respect, it's good. But it depends on how you were in service also. And now I'm more creative, I can flower, I'm sitting with you in an interview, I may have been sitting in a meeting in the secretariat right now.
Right.
And I would have called you up, no, we can't do this interview today because I'm busy. So my life is more my own and I manage to do the things I love. So that's the best part.
So I have a very interesting question, and this is something I've been trying to find an answer to. This is something I was also talking to Ayush. If let's say I am in service, I am an IAS,
Yes.
and then I leave it, right? For some reason I take a voluntary retirement, and then after 2-3 years, like let's say I take it because I was not, I wanted something else in my life, right? After 2-3 years, if I think, okay, in hindsight, I should not have left the that position, right? So you get this, that during that time 3 years ago I did what made me happy, right? But then after 3 years I'm regretting that. So what do you think, should we think about these things, in hindsight we should have done this or we could have done this, but then you did that because you were that was the best thing that you could have done?
No, see, these are human situations. So luckily for me, I haven't felt even a tinge of regret even once,
Okay.
3.5 years down the line. I met a fellow IAS officer who left 10 years only. He did 10 years of service, Kashish Mittal. He's a singer.
Okay.
You should interview him. So he doesn't have any regret and he looks pretty cool. But to leave after 10 years, there will be people who will have regrets.
Okay.
Even I may have had, I don't have, but I may have. And there's so many things you do in life which you do regret. But then if you keep regretting and living in that past, so Paramahansa Yogananda says, fully enjoy the beauty and wonder of each moment.
Okay.
Don't live in the past and the future. The
Right.
future has not yet come. The past, as one uncle of mine, Mr. V.K. Kapoor, former DGP, he says, the past is a cancelled check. Forget it.
Okay.
So don't live in that regret or that guilt or that what should have been or what could have been or I should have done this. It will come to you. At times your mind doesn't listen to you, but you get over it quickly, you move on to whatever you're doing. Concentration on this moment is the most important success factor. Mindfulness.
Okay.
Thich Nhat Hanh, Paramahansa Yogananda, Eckhart Tolle,
Okay.
all great thinkers, seers, they say the same thing. This moment is a present. The present is a present for you. It's a gift.
Yes. Yes.
Make the full use of it. Don't wallow in the past or the future.
I believe if you are living in regret, you are living in past, and if you are anxious, then you're living in future. So my last question: what would be and I know one book already, but what would be the 3 books that you would recommend to any youngster in their early 20s right now?
Yeah, I would recommend Yuval Noah Harari. And Harari has written 21 ideas for the 21st century. He's written Sapiens.
I'm
he's
reading
written Homo
Sapiens
Deus.
right
yeah,
now,
he's
yes.
written all those. I would recommend him definitely. I would also recommend Nandan Nilekani. He's written Reimagining India. So
Okay.
if you want to know about India.
Okay.
I'll recommend a couple more than 3. So Sudha Murthy is a great author also to understand India.
I saw your conversation
Interview
with
with Sudha
that.
Murthy.
Yes.
Yeah. Then I would recommend Paramahansa Yogananda's Autobiography of a Yogi, which you probably guessed, because I think the sooner you read it, the more you understand life better.
My guess was Finding Success Within.
And the last one is Finding Success Within, because I should be humble enough to say that last. And it is last in this list, no doubt. So read Finding Success Within to find why and how we can be successful and happy.
So I know I said last question, but I have one last, final last question. Is there something that you're rethinking or reimagining right now? Because you mentioned reimagining India, and I just had this thought, okay, is there something, any idea of you or any perception that you're probably in the transition phase of, changing or probably rethinking something in your life?
Yeah, it's my motivational speaking career.
Okay.
So I've been at it for many years. I have 8 TEDx talks. I have lots of successes.
Right.
3 million views on my YouTube.
Right.
But I think I can go to the next level.
Okay. What's the
And
next
that
level?
next level would be to reach out directly to the youth. If it means speaking more in Hindi and regional languages, whatever I know, I will. English, definitely I'll continue. Reaching out to focused youth in a quick manner, because there are people who are suffering.
Right.
They're overthinking, they are into depression, they're into sullenness, they're not into creativity. The education system also is like that. So I want to be a crusader for creativity, calmness, balance. These are my happy words. And cheerfulness. So I want to be a crusader for that and do more in this. That's my transition. Or I want to rethink how to become better known, reach out to more people across India.
So thank you so much, and I look forward to more conversations. One thing. Second, your 2 more books. I'm guessing they will release in some time near future.
Yeah.
But I'm looking to whatever any art form you have to share on LinkedIn, on any platform, on YouTube and
Instagram also I'm pretty active. So
we will also link your social media handles so that people can not only get inspired from this conversation, but I know you have you just type your name. Have you ever Googled yourself? Okay. There's a lot of I know umpty numbers of videos.
Because I have to see that. I have to check where I am.
Right, sir. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.